Good afternoon and welcome to PRTV Spurs Paxton Road TV, your home for all Tottenham Hotspur Football Club related previews, reaction shows, talking points, you name it, we've got you covered. This weekend, the Spurs go to, if you want to call them, the mighty Toon Army at St. James's Park. What promises to be a very interesting game, because no game at St. James's Park is ever easy in front of the mad Toon Army fans. Joining me, as always, to do the preview show is my sidekick, Mr. Sam, Spurs for Life. Good afternoon, Sam. How are you?
Okay, good, thank you. Friday afternoon, sun is shining, the weather is sweet-ish. Good.
Sun is shining, the weather is good. I'm actually closer to Newcastle, the Toon Army, than I am to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club today, because I'm in my hometown, the original Lily Whites, Preston North End, in Preston, celebrating Eid with the parents, and should be on my way back tonight, back to London, get ready for the game tomorrow. How are you feeling about this game tomorrow, Sam?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a bit of a difficult one for me because I've got a wedding tomorrow as well. So I'm going to be probably, looking. I think it's a 3 o'clock kickoff that we've got.
12:30.
Oh, is it 12:30? So I might be able to catch a bit of it at the start, but I'll catch all the game obviously on catch up before we do our reaction show. So I'm looking for I don't know what I'm looking for actually. A win, I think, is what we need. But in terms of how we play, I don't know what to expect until we kind of get a bit more team news, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the press conference should be later on, but obviously I want you to get this done out of the way because, like you said, you're busy, I'm busy, I'll be on my way back home. So this is the best way to do it. And wherever you're watching us from, PRTV Spurs or Paxton Road TV, make sure you subscribe, follow the channel, and make sure you smash that like button because the content is always there. We just need everyone to just smash it, like it. The more of you that do it, the more we get and the better we get. Not that we need to get any better, but it is what it is. So, Sam, let's get into this then. Newcastle versus Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. 12:30 kickoff tomorrow. So, roll them slides, my friend.
Let's get this presentation on the way. Okay, so which is the best one? I think it's present. Share screen. Sorry, people, it's just live TV. As always, we are doing this. There we go. Right.
There we go. Yeah, so we're doing it live. I haven't got my 2 screens with me today, so I'm on my laptop and Sam's in control of the slides. Bear with us. Like Sam said, it's live. We do what we've got to do. Right, so as it stands then, 57, I think it's 55 or 57 meetings between the two of them. Next slide, please, my friends. Next slide. 57 meetings between Spurs and Newcastle United. Wins, we have 24 for Newcastle, 25 for Tottenham. And Newcastle have won 13 times at St. James's Park. Spurs have won 9. And then the reverse is 16 at home to Spurs, 11 to Newcastle, and 8 draws. I know, Sam, we always talk about this, but St. James's Park is not an easy ground. And that's, 25 times we've won. They've won 24. Although they've beaten us 13 times at their place, we've won 9 away. Now, the last time we played there, and we're looking to the next slides, it wasn't pretty at all. This is one of them grounds where...
Yeah, but I'm just looking at it's a fairly even record, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a fairly even record. So, yeah, I didn't really... I know we have... yeah. Let's get on to the next slide then.
Yeah. Right, so the meetings then. Last 5 meetings is Newcastle 2, Spurs 3 at St. James's Park. And then it was 5-1 to Newcastle. 3-2 to Spurs, 5-1 to Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 23rd of October 2022, we lost 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Then 23rd of April, 6-1 St. James's Park. Yeah, that was the one.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Look at them score lines that we've got in there. Wow.
And then 4-1. So we can say clearly There's plenty of goals in this fixture. Plenty of goals.
One clean sheet in any of them
and lost
games.
3 of the last 5.
It's crazy. Do you want me to move on, or do you want to talk about these results?
It's up to you if you want to talk about this.
Oh, obviously the 6-1 was that one where basically everybody down tools. I think the manager down tools, because it was Stellini, wasn't it? After Conte, whatever madness that they decided to put him in charge was absolutely criminal, and we got walloped. The 5-1 though on the 2022 3rd of April at our ground, 5-1, we got clapped up as well.
No, we won 5-1.
Oh, I was going to say, because it's the red. Okay, yeah, that was. I thought we'd lost that one, but no, the St James's Park. The last 2 visits, 1 loss. I know we won. Yeah, 1 loss, 1 win. The 3-2-1. I think I remember that game as well. But it's going back to that 6-1. That was embarrassing, and I think we need to do something about that in terms of how we perform. Do you want me to move on to the next slide?
Yeah, next one. So the last 5 visits then at St James's Park. It was 11th of August 2018, Spurs 2, Newcastle 1, Vertonghen and Delhi. Then it was 2020, 15th of July, 3-1 to Spurs. And then 4th of April 2021, it was a 2-2 draw. 17th of October 21, Spurs 3, Newcastle 2. And then obviously the 6-1 under Stellini. So we've had 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. Sam, if you want to go back to the last one.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
I will just slightly edit this properly so people don't see the housekeeping in the background, which I will do. Just to go back to that, because that's not very good, is it? Right. Okay,
That's
cool.
The one.
Cool.
Yeah, so we've had 3 wins.
Let me just share this 1 second. Again, people, apologies for the what might seem like it's very unprofessional, but we're doing this quite well considering we're both not even in the same city. Anyway,
yeah. Right, so it was 3 wins and 2 losses at St James's Park. Actually, no, it was not. It's 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And that last one under Stellini was the 6-1, which was an absolute mismatch. But apart from that, under Pochettino, twice under Mourinho, and once under Nuno, we've managed 3 wins and 1 draw. So,
see, again, apart from if you take out that 6-1, which was an embarrassment, the results have been decent. You can say unbeaten in 4 before that, 3 wins, 1 draw. But that one last season, it was a real embarrassment. It was a case of everybody down tools. What was it? 5 down in the first half?
Yeah. I think it was 4 in the first 20 minutes or something. Really.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the start of the game and it was 1-0. I'm thinking, okay, we might get back into this, but then the game we might not. But then I think by 20 minutes, it was like, okay, we're different.
Down tools, everyone switched off the tellies, everybody went and done whatever. The wives were happy because the husbands and boyfriends turned around and said, right, let's go shopping. I'll do whatever you want to do. Let's just get me out of this. I want to watch this shit. And that's what it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously this season again, Newcastle are different, but they're sort of rocking at the moment, aren't they? They're very, very hit and miss. They've had a lot of injuries. They've had Ashley Barnes come back from injury and that, but I think it's going to be a very interesting game tomorrow.
It will be an interesting game, but I think you hit the nail on the head. They've got a little bit of impetus, a bit of help with regards to playing personnel. With is it Ashley Barnes coming back? He had a really good St James's performance where he scored that brace, basically won him the game. I think it was the last home game. And he's a dangerous player. But again, if we balance everything out, who's got the better squad? It's very close. Don't get me wrong. I think both the squads are pretty close in terms of ability. But we're in the position we are in the table for a reason. So I'm looking at this to try and, get some points off Newcastle. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you there. I think we need to go there, and if they're rocking, we need to take advantage. So, season so far then, they are, last 5 meetings then, as you can see there. Right, we beat Nottingham Forest 3-1. Then we drew with West Ham 1-1. Luton was 2-1 at home. Fulham lost 3-0, and Aston Villa we beat 4-0 at Villa Park. Whereas their results, they beat Fulham 1-0, drew with Everton 1-1, lost to West Ham, beat West Ham 4-3 from 3-0 down, lost to Chelsea, and beat Wolves 3-0 at home. So they've got 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Guess what we've got? 3
exactly
wins.
The same order as well.
Exactly the same. Look at the way it goes. 1 loss, 1 draw, 1, all the same. Their last 2 away home games, they've drawn 1, won 2. And our last 2 away games, 3 away games, we've won 1, drawn 1, lost 1.
Yeah, they've had 2 clean sheets. The last game they played was a 1-0 against Fulham, and obviously the 3-0 that they beat Wolves with. Ours, again, clean sheet was the 4-0 against Aston Villa. That was 5 games ago now. So one of the most important things for me going forward for next season, and this is one of the things that we talked about in the uncomfortable conversations bit me and Darius, which we'll do another one next week, is how do we think this is all going to stack up if we play the same way, particularly if we play the same way in Europe, and particularly when other teams will have the summer to analyze, look through, look what we're doing. If we're going to play the same way, we should then be quite easy to get your tactics right again. So we always going to rely on quality. So the transfer window is going to be important. But yeah, exactly the same results. It's going to be interesting, Sid.
It is going to be interesting, and this is it. And this is one of them games where you can go to other clubs away, and you can be very confident of getting a result. But Newcastle is like Emirates, probably Anfield, Old Trafford, where you're going to find it hard to get there because them fans, their fan base it's like the 11th, 12th man for them, isn't it? 13th, 14th man for them, because the atmosphere there will be rocking.
It's crazy. I've lived up in Newcastle, worked up in Newcastle for a couple of years, went to a few games up there, went to some non-Spurs games as well up there. And what I can tell you is, as soon as you get, because it's a very much a city centre club, it's right in the heart of the city centre, and everybody on match day, and I'm not talking just the blokes, I'm talking about everybody, kids, women, everybody, Newcastle shirts on, nothing else. And it's madness because everybody comes in, it's like a whole day event, rain, snow, sun, doesn't matter, they're all wearing their shirts. So it's not going to be easy because they are passionate fans, as you said.
Exactly. So I just hope our boys are ready and up for a challenge, and the Tottenham that we want them to turn up, not the Fulham Tottenham, but the Tottenham season so far then, guys, ladies, gentlemen. So far then, Newcastle United are 8th, Tottenham are 4th. They've won 14. Spurs have won, I don't even know what's going on with these slides.
I know it's coming up, but I'm going to put them all up and then we'll see what else.
I'm going to talk about it yet.
Oops, that's have to go back now. When God dear. Again, people, watch while we just come off this screen again. And we will. My computer's even messing up a little bit as well here. But anyway, let me just sort this out. Right. There we go.
Let me just bring this up so I know what's going on. Right. So let's go. Where's the fixtures gone?
Okay. Ready again?
Yeah, let's go for it. So, in terms of where are we gone? Right. So, if you bring it up, Sam, I'll go. Yeah, they've won 8. They're position 8. Tottenham are 4th. Won 14. Newcastle. Spurs have won 18. 5 draws. Spurs have drawn 6. Newcastle have lost 12. Spurs have lost 7. In terms of average goals scored per match, both teams are 2.1, Sam. Both teams. Average goals conceded, 1.68 Newcastle, 1.45 Tottenham. They've kept more clean sheets than Spurs. They've kept 9. We've kept 6. Chances created, this is interesting, 2.28 to 2.32. Again, neck and neck. Their biggest win is 8-0. Ours is 4-0. Our biggest defeat is 4-1. And theirs is 4-1 against Spurs. looking at that, Sam, average goal scored 2.1, goals conceded just around even, and then chances created again even. So this is a team, two teams that concede for fun, score for fun, and create for fun. So this should be 0-0.
Yeah, I wouldn't be putting a bet on a 0-0 tomorrow, but like you said, it's probably likely to be a 0-0 because that's the way things go in life. But what I will say to that is, again, usually I would say, okay, over a period of time, this would even itself out, and it has done. It shows it as 31 games down the line, it should be showing pretty decent stats. But the more telling stat is the recent form. We're both on exactly the same form. We both seem to be able to score goals. We've both got goal scorers, or certainly got people in the team that can score. As I said, Ashley Barnes is now back in there. They've got Isak, they've got Gimaresh. They've got a few players in there that I'd say, oh, I wouldn't mind him. And on the other side, the flip side is we've got some potent weapons. Again, I think both teams at this precise moment are inconsistent, have had injury problems, are trying to look for the best team. Does he know what his best team is in terms of Eddie Howe? I'm not even quite sure that our manager, Ange Postecoglou, knows what his best team is because of the fact that, players are inconsistent and not performing necessarily at the highest level all the time. But we have got some players who are, and when they come in, make an impact. So again, team selection tomorrow is going to be all important. Do I go on to the next one?
Yeah, and I think it's one of them, isn't it? I've not seen the press conference yet. I don't think the press conference has been done
yet. No.
Yeah, it'll probably be 12:30 or maybe a bit because we're the early kickoff tomorrow. But I'm not too sure about the team. So in terms of the last game, I don't think there was any injuries. The only injury worry was obviously Richarlison because he didn't start. He wasn't well. I don't know if he comes into the fall, but my team will be Vicario, Pedro Porro, Destiny Ordigi, and then obviously Romero and Mickey van der Ven. The back five, Sam, does it change for you? Or same old, isn't it?
Yeah, back five should be as settled as you can do unless there is some injuries, unless there was any tactical tweaks needed. But we know that Porro and Udogie, in my opinion, are much better quality than the subs that would come in, or possibly the replacement that would come in, as in Raw and Ben Davies. So yeah, I think that stays as it is.
Yeah, and then the midfield three, I've gone with, again, Bissouma. I know he's getting a lot of hits at the moment from fans, but our fans are our fans, and obviously I'm sure you've taken in the conversation that we need to have, but
I did yesterday.
Yeah.
Bissouma for me shouldn't be starting tomorrow. In my opinion, the reason being, Sarr might be carrying a bit of a back injury. That's what people are saying. Yeah. He shouldn't be starting if that's the case. But we both talked about it in previous reviews, etc. Højbjerg has proven over the last few games, whenever he's come on, has made a difference. Bentancur in that last game seemed to make a difference when he came on. Is it an opportunity now to see Højbjerg and Bentancur play with Maddison in front? And the reason I'm saying that is because Højbjerg, he's more careful in that number 6. I know we've seen times when he's been a bit careless, but I think he's switched on at the moment. He knows he's in competition with certain players in this team. And when he plays in that 6 as the lone 6, he seems to drop into that back 3 more so, which allows Van der Ven to go across to cover the space which Udogie leaves. But then it doesn't mean there's a massive gap between Van der Ven and Romero because Højbjerg's filled it. And that makes us solid. So if you watch the game back, that's what we were doing a lot better in the second half. We didn't allow the massive gaps between our centre-backs, even though Forest still had opportunities to get in down the flanks, which they always would do. Any team will do against us. Bissouma at this moment in time has been a bit careless in that area.
See, the thing tomorrow as well is their midfield. They got Bruno Guimaraes. They'll probably you know what? I don't even know who they're going to play in there because they keep changing their midfield, and plus they got injuries in that. Joe Linton's injured, so that's we don't need to.
They might have the Longstaff brothers, or one of them might be peering. Yeah. So if Guimaraes, you'll probably have a Longstaff in there.
Miley's in there, but I don't know if I think he was injured the other day.
Yeah, but possibly.
I think the thing is, we know what's happening with Højbjerg at the end of the season, right? Because he's probably more likely going to be moving on because
that's what I'm trying to understand. I disagree with this moment in time based on what we know about Højbjerg. But what is he? 26, 27?
Højbjerg.
What of that Højbjerg? He's not that old. He's not as in, 30 plus. He's certainly in his mid to late 20s, if anything.
28.
So if I think about that, that's a prime age, right in your experience in your prime. Would we know him as well? If he was to improve and keep on this same performance, would you want to keep him for next season? Because again, he's not been at bad clubs.
No, I wouldn't get rid of him because experience, like you said, yeah, he can come in. I don't know about him being a starter, but he can come in again like Werner and Johnson as an impact sub in difficult games, or if you need to make sure that the game's secure and wrap it up, he can come on. Look at him, the last few games he's played, he's come on as a substitute. I think he's been immense. I think he's done everything forward. And there's something that you said the other day, and I think you said it twice. This guy is moving. As soon as he comes on, he's not looking to go side to side, the backwards. He's looking forwards constantly. He's making them runs. He's making them long balls forward. He's not taking it backwards. He had a shot the other day going for goal. It seems like this being on the bench, coming on as an impact, something's just clicked in him, and he's decided, you know what? I'm not safe anymore. I'm now going out there. I will be safe when I need to be, but I'm going to go forward, move it forward, keep it clicking, because Spurs are clicking, so I'm not going to slow it down. That's why, for me, Postecoglou knows everything about Højbjerg. He knows him. His biggest problem is going to be trying to convince him to stay as a squad player. Now, whether Højbjerg wants to go somewhere and he wants to be a starter in a different league, maybe that might be suited to him. With Bissouma, I think he's giving him more games starting because he wants to see, can he take it by the scruff of the neck? Can he improve? Can he become the player was at the beginning of the season and at Brighton? And I think he's giving him more and more games to see if it's going to happen. If it doesn't, then I think, like you said, questions will be asked at the end of the season. Onana from Everton has been heavily linked, and he's doing a lot of rounds at the moment. Mm-hmm. So I think I think you agree. I think it's testing times for Bissouma now. I think he's been looked at very carefully.
So what I used to say to a lot of the players who were subs when I was coaching, managing football teams was like, when you're not playing, obviously you're disappointed, but watch the player that's effectively got your plays, see what he does right and what he doesn't do as well. I think Højbjerg has probably been doing that. Yeah. Because if I'm honest with you, I don't think since Bissouma's come back, he's had a brilliant game. He's had some good games, but not brilliant. I'm like, oh my God, we're so glad. No, but I've seen him have some good games, but I've also seen him make some errors. So what I'm saying to players is watch what he's doing. What's not. And for me, again, Bissouma's been playing this ball across the back line nonchalantly. Sometimes it's outside of the foot. He doesn't always track back. If you watch the goal that Forest scored, I mentioned this again previously.
Yeah.
Bissouma was at fault as much as Doggy was at fault as well, because he didn't track his runner. Timo Werner didn't come back in and make it hard. He just kind of let the players run. So we were outnumbered. Again, Van de Ven coming across. Everybody has to shift across, including Porro, and we're pulled out of position. All it takes is 1-2 players to decide, right, I'm going to break it to get back in position, delay them, then you've got your things set again. These are the little things which we've got to look at. And I don't think Bissouma's as good. And if he's not as good, how can we make him better? We'll have to see. So, yeah, he might start tomorrow for that reason, like you said, to prove a point.
Yeah. And I think Bentancur and Sarr, both players, one's coming back from a serious injury. The other one's got a back issue. So I think this rotation for them two, one starts one game, then the other one bench, then the other one starts. I think it's a masterstroke, personally, from Postecoglou, because if Bentancur comes in, he plays really well. And then he knows when he gets knackered, I can bring on Sarr. And Sarr will run, and he'll run through brick walls for you.
Yeah, that's the energy that 21, 22 gives you. So
Exactly.
that's the balance that we need. We've got very much experience in terms of Bentancur, Basuma in there with Madison. They're all mid-20s, whatever they are. So they're experienced. But sometimes you might need a little bit of injection of legs, just box to box. Because obviously Bentancur, as you said, is coming back. Basuma, I don't think he's a box-to-box player. So again, I think I've got to look at his role slightly differently now.
Yeah. And as long as you don't put a golf green on the stadium and ask Papa Saw to take a shot at a hole in one, because if you watch that video on Spurs' website on Twitter about when they walked into the stadium and they're asking them to take them golf shots, Papa Saw was awful. But yeah, I think this three, and then the front three for me, I still don't know what's going on with Richarlison. I don't know if he's going to be fit or not, but I know you're not going to like it, but unfortunately, it is what it is. And I'm glad you're not the manager, because Postecoglou has said it from day one. He's not expecting Werner to score goals. He loves his energy and the fact that he creates chances. Postecoglou's already said it. I don't want him to score 25, 30 goals. I want him to do what he's doing now, which is assisting, making space, running, and causing problems now and then. So I think he starts on the left. Johnson will start on the right again. And I know Son's sort of struggling in games, but as a number 9, but he still goes with Son, because on his day, Son is Son and he's lethal.
And this front three will be the front three that starts, because it's the most potent front three that we have at present, unless you're going to throw Richarlison in there as being a number 9 and maybe Son, Werner, depending on what you want to do. Let me just first correct this Werner thing. I think Werner is an impact player. I think he can do what he did against who did we play last game? Oh, I've forgotten my head.
Forest.
Nottingham Forest. What he did against Nottingham Forest. Get down a byline, cross with left foot, because supposedly he's right footed, but he can do a decent bit with his left foot. The problem being for me is, okay, good teams will say, right, how do we stop him? Double up on him, make him come back onto his right foot, because he can't shoot, he's not going to score.
Yeah.
So once you get worked out by decent teams, let's not make sure he gets a one-on-one, because that's what Forest did. They allowed it to be 1v1. I think it was it Nico Williams he was up against? Yeah. And he was cooking him, because he didn't know whether he was going to come inside. I would have just let him come inside and shoot, because I know he's going to probably Rose ZZ, or he's going to be straight into keeper's arm. I'm not lying, Sid. You know I'm not lying, because you've seen it. You've been in that North Stand, and you've said to me before, there's no fucking goals in this bloody half. And the reason being because we can't score.
Yeah.
But he can do that job, getting the ball across. Now, what happens when he gets worked out? Does he have the know-how, the nous to change his game up? I don't know. And that's my point. I think you have to be creative. That's essentially what these front three have to be. I think they're too coached. I think that Johnson and Werner particularly, not so much Son, but Johnson and Werner. Okay, what do I need to do, boss? Once you get down the line, once you get across. Okay, boss. Okay, I can't do this now, boss. What do I do now? That's how I think they think. It's not like, right, they're doing this to me. I'm now going to try this because I'm this sort of player. I'm the man. I think we need a bit more confident in that front area, if I'm honest with you. But they are the potent front three at this moment.
Yeah, I don't think this changes tomorrow. I think unless, obviously, the only one I'm thinking is Bentancur and Son is the only one I'm sort of thinking might change. But apart from that...
Richarlison. You mean Richarlison? Did you mean Richarlison or Bentancur?
Bentancur we saw is the only thing.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
Richarlison, we don't know. I think I didn't even know he was injured, to be fair. So I don't know what's going on with that. He was all fit and proper, and then he's not.
If Richarlison's fit, who do you play?
If Richarlison's fit, then I would go Richie up top with Son on the left. Because remember, at home, who caused all the trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Son did on the left, didn't he? He caused them enough problems, as you could saw in the title with all the goals. Son caused them serious issues. So if Richarlison is fit, then I would go with Richarlison up top with Son on the left. That's a no-brainer for me.
To me, that would be better because you've got more goal threat. We've already talked about how many goals Richarlison's got this season in the Prem. Son's our top goal scorer. I think he's 6th in the Premier League in terms of goal, 15 goals or something like that, 9 assists. Werner is, as you said, he's a creator, not necessarily even assists. I know he's got a couple recently on, if you take the own goal as being an assist, and it was him. But he does cause havoc. Son causes havoc, but has got an end product as well in terms of goals. Richarlison, same sort of thing. Well, even Johnson got a bit more of an end product in terms of he's been more consistent in terms of his assists and even goals. I think someone's put up he's got X amount of goals, X amount of stats this season, which is improving. So I would do exactly the same as you said. I'd swap Werner, put Son on there, and put Richarlison up top.
Yeah, and even to be fair, even if you put Werner on the left, if Richarlison's up top, you know at least there's going to be somebody in the box, because you've seen it, I've seen it a few times this season where the balls have gone in the box, there's no one there, nobody there at all. And with Richie, at least you know, bit of a header, and he can get them taps in. As you can see, if you watch the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when we won 4-1, where did all the goals come from? Inside the box. Tap-ins. Richie's one from Son. Destiny's one from Son. You know, and then obviously Pedro Porro's pass for Richarlison to finish because he was in that number 9 position. So that's how it is. Right. So it's that moment then, obviously, as always. The score prediction. I mean, we've got a good record there. We're playing quite well. They've got, obviously, they've had issues, got a lot of players injury. I tell you one thing that's very interesting, Sam. I don't know if you know about this, right? I'm sure you do. The Bruno Guimaraes situation. So, you know, he's on X amount of yellow cards at this precise moment, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's this loophole, which is absolute bizarre. If he gets a yellow card tomorrow, he's reached his limits, yeah? He gets a 2-game ban. Yeah? If he gets sent off in tomorrow's game, he gets a 1-game ban.
And then the yellow card does the yellow card then count for the next game if he gets it? Because remember, if you get a red, it doesn't count as 2 yellows, if that makes sense. So if you get a red, would he still be on 14 yellow cards or whatever it is? And then if he gets the 15th, he then gets a 2-game ban as well?
I don't think so. Or
does the red completely take out? Because I think that was the problem. Someone told me that as well, being a loophole. So if the player got himself sent off, he'd get 1-game ban as opposed to 2 if he got a yellow. But I'm sure if you get the red, your yellows still count. So if you then get a yellow the next game when you come back, you still get a 2-game ban. I might be wrong.
If you get a yellow and then a red, I'm assuming that yellow stands. So that's what they're saying. So I don't know now whether that means you get sent off on purpose so that you only miss 1 game.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the yellow would still be in effect. If he gets a straight red, that would not count as being a yellow.
No, but if he gets a yellow...
but if you got a yellow first, then he would obviously get the 2-game ban. But then if he got sent off after that...
1-game ban.
Might be a 1-game ban. So getting a yellow then a red. I
it's
see
bizarre, isn't it?
It is bizarre. It's weird. I can't see him doing that because they wouldn't want to put themselves at a disadvantage in that game. So I just don't think he's going to get a yellow. He's going to try to not get a yellow, which plays into our hands, doesn't it?
But he's gone about 7 games. You know, he's been on this threshold for about 6 or something games.
Well, let's make sure he gets this yellow card then.
And he hasn't got a yellow yet. So they were saying they were astonished that he's gone that far without getting the yellow to get banned. So, you know, let's see what happens anyway. But score prediction then, as always. What are you thinking? Remember the record we've got there. Remember the last, 24-25 wins each.
It's the fans. The fans, if you get them fans into this game, and they're pretty much in the game all the time, but when they're getting beat, they go a little bit more quiet. They've still got hardcore. So he's trying to keep them out of it. If they score first, because look what happened when Harvey Barnes came on and they got that victory. The whole of St. James's Park went crazy, went mental. You just don't want that. You don't want them to get a bit of steam to come in. So you want to be able to deal with them, control the game, not give them easy opportunities. But we know that Spurs don't do that. So I expect goals in this. I expect mistakes from us. I expect mistakes from them. And I expect there to be pretty much goals everywhere. 3-2, I'm going Spurs. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's a draw and it's a 2-2 draw, something like that. But I'm going to go 3-2 as my positive spin on this.
You know what? I think you've nailed it on the head. This is one of them games where they can go 3-0 up in 15 minutes. Yeah. They can be 2-0 down and come back with 15 minutes to go and win the game, like they proved against Newcastle, against West Ham United. But obviously, compared to West Ham, we're a little bit more, I think, more different in terms of we've got better defenders. Yes, we don't keep clean sheets, but I think we can keep them at bay. When they came to our place, everybody said it's going to be a tough game, and in the end, we beat them comprehensively 4-1. And then it was that stupid goal at the end that we gave away to Joe Linton, which sums up Tottenham's season. So I think tomorrow is going to be an interesting game. To be fair, what have both teams got to play for? We've got fourth to play for.
Well,
fifth is now looking very, very...
That's what I was going to say, Sid. Fifth is now looking a little bit dicey based on the results this week in the Champions League and the Europa. So we are in pole position for fourth, being one game, same points as Villa, but one game played less. We need to win tomorrow. We can't afford, if we're going to cement that top four. A victory tomorrow would pretty much almost do it. I know we've got all them other big games to go, but certainly Newcastle have got some big games as well. So win tomorrow. Sorry, Villa, not Newcastle. Villa have got some big games coming up because Villa have got to play Arsenal. I'm sure Villa have got to play City or Man United. They've got big games. So they've got very similar games to us. So we need to make sure we're 3 points ahead of them and then just match whatever they do after that. Yeah,
because I think in terms of that fifth position, we've got 5 teams in Europe. Germany have got 3. Germany are 35 points ahead of them. England now in the efficiency rating. So they reckon that we probably won't end up getting that. But I think you're right. And for Newcastle as well, they need to get 6th or 7th because with the squad they've got, with the money invested, them not having Europe next season, I think would be a major catastrophe. It'd be a major catastrophe. They need Europe, whether it's the conference or the Europa, but they need it. So I think they will go for that final push. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game as well. I can't see it being a draw. And I think I was going to say exactly what you said. I think 3-2 to Spurs because both teams will score. Both teams will concede. They've got an informed striker at the moment in Isaac as well. So 3-2.
Who I want us to buy. If we can get an opportunity to get him, cut price, whatever they have to sell players, that's the player we should be going for.
Yeah, but them look down the road as well, looking at him as well. So it is what it is. So, you're going 3-2. I'm going 3-2. Let's see what everybody else will say in the comment section on this one and see what they think of the game. But in terms of the preview show, that's tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. at St. James's Park, Tottenham, away at Newcastle United. Sam, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you to everyone when you do watch this later on. Thank you for all your comments. Please make sure, and as always, make sure you subscribe to the PRTV Spurs and Paxton Road TV and make sure you like the stream. And as always, what we end up with by saying is, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Develop,